The question is that the motion be agreed to. Andrew Little.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I want to acknowledge the Minister who's just spoken. His stories of Stu Smith and Stuart Marai. It's been one hell of a morning for him. Mr Speaker, events like this, the earthquakes that we've seen in the last couple of days across New Zealand, are a test of our national character. And as is always the case, it is about whether we as a nation rise to the challenge of those who are suffering as a result of circumstances that are beyond their control. And what we've seen in Kaikoura and further north in the South Island, around Wellington and other parts of New Zealand, is a real test of the Kiwi spirit. The things that New Zealanders have done to reach out to each other, to reach out to friends and neighbours, to reach out to tourists and travellers who are here as our guests, has been absolutely amazing. And I saw it myself on Monday morning as during our brief evacuation, how Wellingtonians responded and offered a helping hand to all who were there. I think particularly of Biz Dojo here in Wellington, who commercial premises didn't have to open their doors. They happened to be around and about at 2 o'clock in the morning, and they made their premises available to anybody in central Wellington who just needed a place to be with others and to feel safe. And they put on coffee and they put on snacks, and it was a very nice thing to do. It shows that when New Zealanders are up against it, that we have a sense of determination, of resourcefulness, but also we never lose our sense of kindness and compassion. And we have seen that throughout, during the night on Monday morning, throughout the day, and yesterday as well. What New Zealanders have done for each other and to each other over the last couple of days has been absolutely fantastic. And when New Zealanders at a time of need are just looking for safety and security, this experience tells us they don't have to go very far. Even Parliament itself here, Mr Speaker, no doubt under your mandate, opened its doors early on Monday morning to offer refuge and solace to those living nearby when they needed it most. We are a country and a people who looks after each other and looks out for each other, and we should be very proud of that. Mr Speaker, there is one thing to rise to the challenge of the circumstances of the day, when the adrenaline is pumping, when the circumstances are novel, and we are motivated by the height of our compassion to make sure our neighbours and friends are all okay. But there is a longer-term challenge we have to rise to, and the Minister who spoke just now spelled out some of them. But they are, what does the future look like? How are we going to rise to that challenge? What are we going to do to make sure that our road and rail linkages are safe and secure for the future? What are we going to do for the community of Kaikoura? Because there are people there who, when they get over the adrenaline rush of the last few days and the travellers have gone, they've been evacuated, are going to be faced with decisions about what they do, their business futures, their family and home futures. And that is when the support of the community of all New Zealand is going to be needed most, when the support of the government is going to be needed most as well. Let us make sure in the days and weeks and months that follow that we learn from the lessons of the past. And there are no lessons stronger than those that have come out of the Canterbury earthquakes. Let's make sure that EQC and the insurance companies are working hand in glove with each other, not against each other at the expense of those who just want to get the insurance claim settled. Let's make sure that those who are charged with doing the rebuilding, doing the repairs, do so with a quality job. Let's work to the principle, do it once and do it right. That will ease a lot of people's anxiety. Mr Speaker, we cannot get over the fact that we are a country prone to earthquakes. Sir Geoffrey Palmer put it like this once upon a time. He said that sometimes it does us a power of good to remind ourselves that we live on two volcanic rocks where two tectonic plates meet in a somewhat lonely stretch of windswept ocean just above the roaring 40s. Add to that his description of New Zealand as a pluvial nation, and we get an idea of just the nature of the environmental and natural hazards and risks that we face. But, Mr Speaker, we are that nation. That is who we are. And earthquakes are a reality for this great country of ours. So the challenge for us, actually, as somebody put it to me the other day in Kaikoura when I visited, and I asked him about it, he said, the price we pay for these earthquakes are the price that we pay for being in the most beautiful country in the world. Let's make sure that we are a safe and beautiful country, that we look after each other and look after the buildings and those things that are there to make us work and keep us safe.